Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Reckless Paradise podcast. I am your host, Istro, and tonight is another Shoot the Shit, episode 27 to be exact. 27 episodes of Shoot the Shit episodes. That's kind of almost sounds like a tongue twister. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's just kind of kick this right off with kind of like no a bang, but like a huge win for me especially. Within the last few days, I had reached 1,500 subscribers. I remember starting this channel, or well, the gaming YouTube channel for myself. Within I think 2, 3 years ago. I can't remember. I would have to go look. But yeah, I remember when I first got my first 500 subscribers. I remember when I got my first 1,000 subscribers. I feel really honored to kind of like just keep grinding and like do like a daily grind, sort of thing. And got to 1,500 within like within the first 3 days, maybe 4 days of 2025. Um, I feel, I guess, accomplished, but I know there's more to come within the next, few years. Hopefully I can get to 1,600 by the end of this year. If not, that's okay. But majority of that, it's just to like, you guys, the viewers, the followers, Um, and I could not be any more proud of myself. I know Marissa is proud of me. I know my parents are proud of me. But it's only up from there, I will still post like gaming clips, like funny gaming clips that I do or me and Marissa do. I still will continue to post memes on there of wrestling content from TikTok. Um, but majority of this time, I guess, will probably be spent talking about the three Japanese shows that I've watched over the weekend. More specifically, is the Wrestle Kingdom 19 show, Wrestle Dynasty, and the New Year Noah show. Um, I watched all three like within 2 days. More specifically, I watched the Wrestle Kingdom 19 show and the Noah show back to back. No break or anything. Which I mean, Wrestle Kingdom 19 was kind of a letdown. Let's just be honest with you. I would prefer the Pro Wrestling Noah show over the Wrestle Kingdom 19 show. Um, so my only like takeaways from that show was the four-way junior heavyweight tag title match, which was a ladder match. Lots of moving parts and all that stuff. It wasn't the best ladder match in the world. Let's just be honest here. But they were just trying their best. They had to do like spot, 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 spot. And it kind of told a good story with Robbie Eagles and Fujita versus United Empire's TJP and Akira. Because those two were the Super Junior Tag League finalists that year for both their blocks, respectively. Kind of cool story between them. In the end, like Robbie Eagles and Vegeta are the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions of the world, and that was just the opening match right there. I kind of skipped like I watched all of New Japan. Like I watched all of the Wrestle Kingdom 19 show up to the semi-main event. Then after that, like a few friends of mine on Discord, they had completely said just like skip the main event, and I can see why because it was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shota Umino, and that match went 44 minutes. Um, and I think I would have been like literally clawing my eyes out. The next match of the night that I thought was a good, like kind of like sleeper hit, was a fatal four way for the New Japan World TV title, which was Jeff Cobb versus Oiwe. Owe. I'm trying to pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. Um, El Phantasmo, and Ren Narita. Um, so Ka versus Ryohei um would have been like a cool match to see on paper, like just straight up singles. I think they've done it before. If not, let me know in the comments below if they have not, or they have or not. ELP had, he had just come back from a huge cancer scare 2 months earlier. And it was actually kind of cool to like see him in the ring and all stuff. He's still healthy and all stuff. ELP was getting thrown around like a freaking rag doll between Cobb and Away. Um, Big Cobb is looking to fly, and he does a tope, like, which is crazy for a man his size. There was a cool like Tower of Doom spot that I liked, because I think it was EOP was on the top rope. Narita was trying to like superplex him off, and like Cobb was like nah, and like he hits him in the back, and he's just like nah, and he like goes back, and like Narita like grabs ELP, and like they just do a really cool like Tower Doom spot. And then like there's a ref bump in a fatal 4-way match, like really. Um, and then like towards the end of the match, like they all like team up on Narita, which was kind of funny. Um, so little cool like little things here that I thought was kind of cool. ELP's super kick is called sudden death, and then Jeff Cobb's like F5 maneuver, they call it like F5000. And then Owe, like freaking monster of a man here. Within 3 attempts, he freaking hit a fucking doctor bomb on Jeff Cobb of all people. And then ELP wins the TV title in his first match back, which was kind of cool. It was very very well deserved for him because he's been through a lot in within like the last 2 months. So kind of cool to like see ELP get that win. Um, I thought it was a cool match. It had some good moving parts with it. Because originally it was going to be Narita, Oe, and Cobb, but then ELP made his intentions clear, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to be entered into that." And they were like, "Okay, cool." So, um, next match that was on the docket was Evil versus Hiroshi Tanahashi in a lumberjack death match. Was There was no like weapons involved. Like there were some weapons, but that wasn't like it wasn't like glass or tubes or anything. There was lots of interference, but I thought it was fine. I wrote down Tanahashi is literally the Hulk Hogan of Japan, and it's rightfully so because he's the owner of New Japan because he bought it from the previous owner. And he's kind of like Hogan, and then Evil was kind of like the Ultimate Warrior of Japan. I put that in the positive way, best positive way possible. And then I literally put Dick Togo is literally based because they did a House of Torture did like a little spot where they have, I think it was like Narita and Uncle Nobu. They have Tanahashi upside down. They have him like his legs like kind of like spread eagle, and Dick Togo like he does a prayer on the middle rope, and then he just does like a karate chop to the nuts and stuff. And I was like, okay, but Dick Togo is like he's the coolest. Like he's the base. Like he's really cool. And Tanahashi like wins via a roll up of all like the most devastating maneuver. What is it gonna be? It's not the sling blade. It's not the high fly flow. It's a roll up. And Tanahashi's career is still alive. But then there was a beatdown after that, and then who in the world would save Tanahashi? It was Katsuyori Shibata of all people. Um, which they had a 5 minute exhibition match the next day at Russell Dynasty, which was kind of cool to see, because these two like have had a past in like they've had a history in the past. I should try to put that politely, or try to put that into words if I can speak today. Sorry. And Shibata's not still medically cleared by this point either. When like he's kicking people's heads off in AEW and stuff. Um, and then the next match that I liked was Konosuke Takeshita versus Shingo Takagi. AEW International and the Never Openweight titles were on the line, title for title. And I will say, Takeshita within 2 days has become a favorite wrestler of mine. Like Kenny Omega, Okada, and Takeshita and Shingo, like those four are literally on my Mount Rushmore of New Japan people. Because Takeshita is like he's opened my eyes to him, which is a good thing. And he he literally was like going like beat for beat with Shingo Takagi, who's he's the dragon, and he's won the never openweight I think never openweight title like 3-4 times at this point, maybe 5. And then the next day he was whoever won that match would face Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull. That match was freaking phenomenal too. But Konosuke sneaks out the win. He beats Shingo. I was not mad. I was actually kind of surprised because between AEW booking and New Japan booking, it was like, okay, who's gonna sneak away with both titles here? I'm actually kind of glad Konosuke kind of won. I feel bad for Shingo though, because it's kind of like his division, kind of in a way. I'm just actually kind of, I don't know how he's gonna like do with AEW schedule and the New Japan schedule. I guess we shall see in the near future. Then the I guess last match on the docket that I liked was Yota Shuji versus David Finlay for the IWGP Global title. I will say that David Finlay has kind of grown on me a little bit more as well. Because I remember his stuff in ROH as part of Lifeblood, with like Juice Robinson and what is it? Hot Sauce Tracy Williams and all that stuff. And David Finlay was like he's the fourth generation superstar of the Finlay name, and it's just so cool to see like how he progressed in New Japan. Because like he was kind of a mid-carder a little bit, but then like he kind of found his calling within the Bullet Club, became like part of this split off faction with Bullet Club War Dogs and all stuff that has like Drill Maloney and Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd and all that stuff, and they've really kind of made a name for themselves, which is kind of good in retrospect because it kind of makes them feel more like synonymous with New Japan, which is kind of good, especially when we get to Wrestle Dynasty. But this match was very hard hitting. I kind of figured that Yota was gonna kind of win because it would have not made sense for it be heel versus heel the next day, because whoever won the global title would face Jack Perry the next day in a global title match. But that match was actually kind of hard hitting as well. I was actually just kind of shocked, like I said, that Yota kind of snuck out the win. And that man has some pearly whites, like golly. That you could see him from like probably a mile away, and he would just be like just smiling, like have this like sinister smile. He's part of LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón. I probably said that correctly, so if I did, leave it in the comments below if I did or not. I watched the semi-main event, which was Naito versus Hiromu. It kind of got kind of botchy in some spots. I'm just gonna say that here. I did not bother watching the main event, like I said. It would have been 44 minutes of my life that I would not get back. But after that show, I watched the Noah's New Year show. It opened with a 13-person rumble, and there was like maybe two names that I knew, or no, actually three names that I knew. Titus Alexander from West Coast Pro, shout out. CJ Leary of OTT, and Saxon Huxley from like NXT UK when that was a thing. A surprise appearance from Dump Matsudo, which was kind of cool. Um, she's like she's old as hell, and she was like beating people up with a kendo stick. It was kind of funny. Um, but I was actually kind of surprised that the Noah show kind of exceeded my expectations of the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 19 show. Which is kind of shocking for me to say because I don't really watch Noah like that. But the matches of the night that I liked, so that point were the was the three-way tag for the GHC Junior Tag Championships, which was Yohei Hamada versus All Rebellion and I can't remember the third team. It'll probably come to me later, but that match was actually kind of fun. It was like it was junior heavyweights and like doing junior heavyweight things, like with like the cruiserweight division and all that stuff. A good match that you guys should seek out, or actually two of them, I should say, was Kenta versus Keno. Uh, that match was actually like it was not hard to watch, but it was kind of like this is like very very strong style, like very very strong style. Lots of like kicks and like elbows and all that stuff. Keno, rocking all black hair, going back to his old school look from like when they first met in Noah and all that stuff, which was kind of cool to hear on commentary. Um, as kind of a sleeper, I guess, Galeno Del Mel, if I said that right, and El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. These two, I did not know they were brothers. I don't know if they're brothers in kayfabe or in real life, but if they are in kayfabe, you could have fooled me. It was actually some pretty cool like lucha things, and they were not holding back on like chops and kicks and all that stuff. Same with like Keno and Kenta too. Those two were not holding back at all. Um, but then the main event was Kaito versus Osawa for the Pro Wrestling Noah GHC Heavyweight Championship. That match was actually like lots of near falls. Like it was very like nail biting and all that stuff. Which I actually liked. Because I watched that main event over the Wrestle Kingdom 19 main event. That's saying something. Um, like fun, like I guess not squash match, but a fun match to kind of watch. I guess if you want to watch it, is the GHC Tag Team Championship match, which was Jack Morrison Omos versus Marufuji and Saruga, I think it is. I think that's his name. Okay. Marufuji trying to do a test of strength with Omos was funny as fuck. And his head is on like if I'm trying to like do it to myself, but it's like in the middle of his abdomen. That's where Murafuji's head is, and almost is like a giant fucker. Um, and he towers over this man. It's just so crazy. I mean, shout out almost like he's got work. He's in Japan. Doing Japan things. Um, but back to the main event. Lots of near falls. Lots of like it was actually kind of felt like Bizarro World in retrospect because Ozawa was getting cheered while Kato was getting booed, which is really weird. Um, And the main story about that is Ozawa like went down with injury and all that stuff, and Kato was like just saying like all rebellion is like he's it's just stronger and all, and it's like it's just all his. And then Ozawa like turned his back on him and hit him over the head with a crutch and all stuff, and he was not medically cleared at that point because he, from what I can tell, like something was going on with his big toe and all that stuff, and so it was affecting his way of wrestling and all that stuff. And from what the commentators were saying, like it was 8 months, uh, and within that 8 months, like he was having rehab after rehab and surgeries and all that stuff, and he comes back like 8 months later and has his first match in 8 months, and he wins the main title of Pro Wrestling Noah, which is kind of cool. And I literally watched both the Wrestle Kingdom 19 and the Noah shows like back to back in one day. Um, and then later that day, I should say, I watched Wrestle Dynasty. I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of liked Wrestle Dynasty more than Wrestle Kingdom 19 to be exact here. Um, the opener was like, it was not open like it wasn't like eye opening for me. It was like a lucha gauntlet. It was four people from CMLL versus four people from New Japan, or from New Japan Pro Wrestling. We saw what was it? It was like Sabador Jr. We saw Titan. We saw Ishimori. We saw Master Wato. We saw Desperado. Um, and like it was funny, like when El Desperado walked out, like all the others like stopped wrestling and they all like looked at the ramp and they were just like, okay, we're about to beat this fucker's ass. um, I mean, it was nothing like to write home about a little bit. Um, but the first match of the night that I thought in my head was cool or was good was Mercedes Moné versus Mina Sarakawa. Um, it was for the New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was for the New Japan Strong Women's title and for the Rev Pro British Undisputed Women's titles. And it was a good back and forth. Actually, surprisingly enough, it was a good back and forth between both ladies. And Mina was like working on Mercedes, I think right leg. I think if I remember. Yeah, she was like working on her right leg the whole match and like kind of like going for figure fours and there's lots of near falls. I actually kind of liked it more than I thought I would because I was like, okay, it's Mercedes Moné versus like Mina, okay. Because we knew like Mercedes was gonna win either way. So at the end of the match, she walks away with four titles. She walks away with the TBS title, the New Japan Strong Women's title, and both of the Rev Pro Undisputed Women's titles. Jesus, literally a belt collector at this point. Um, Another match of the night that I thought, in my opinion, was good too, was Shota Umino versus Claudio Castagnoli. Um, Death Riders versus the protege of the Death Rider, John Moxley. Um, right out the gate, like you can tell, like Claudio and Shota like have some good chemistry, I would say. Because Claudio's like this big heel and all that stuff, and a funny moment in the match, he did the giant swing and all that stuff, and you can hear the crowd say the numbers in English, and they count along with him. He did 19 swings on Shota Umino. I did not know how Claudio Castagnoli did not get sick. He did not get fatigued or anything. He was just like, whoa. And then, like, he regains his balance. He's like, okay, I'm good to go. And then, like, he goes right back into it. Um, it was actually kind of cool to see, uh, like, what could be in the future for Claudio. Because Claudio in Japan would be a good, like, I guess, get for New Japan. If they're doing, if they're still doing the Death Riders thing. Before then, I would love to see, um, Claudio and Yuta, in World Tag League this year. That'd be kind of cool. And Mox and Pac in or like Mox and the G1 and Pac and like the best of the Super Juniors or something. That'd be kind of cool. Just saying, putting that out there, Tanahashi, make it happen. Um, but then like my personal best match of the night, except for the semi-main. Tomohiro Ishii versus Konosuke Takeshita. Man, this match was, it ticks so many boxes that I liked, man. Um, and I know this is like it. I know this is like a ramble hour for shoot the shit, but it's like, hey, whatever, fuck it. Um, with Konosuke and Ishii, it's like there was lots of like hard hitting hits, like Ishii like almost got knocked out by an elbow from Konosuke. Lots of like dropping people and dudes on their heads too. And I would actually like say like within 2 days, Konosuke like single handedly was like the best person on that card. He is like literally the next bout machine, next to Kenny. Um, and speaking of Kenny, we'll get to him in the semi main here. Um, and it made Konosuke feel like a world beater because he beats two former never overweight champions in a single day or in 2 days. Which is cool. They put in a lot of stock in Konosuke too, which is good. Um, the next match that I liked as well. Um, and also by the way, like some of these were just matches of the night that I liked personally. Don't get it twisted. It's like not every match was like the best match of the card, but if I liked something, I liked something. Was the three-way tag for the IWGP World Tag Team titles, which was Young Bucks versus Great-O-Khan and Jeff Cobb versus Naito and Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu Takahashi and Naito were or are the World Tag League champions or winners, and they cashed in their title shot today, or well, at the time of recording, I should say. And this match was actually kind of fun. It's Young Bucks doing Young Bucks things. And they're doing the EVP stuff still to this day. And it was actually kind of cool to like actually like watch Great-O-Khan as well, and plus like Jeff Cobb like coming off that loss to in the TV title match the day before. It was actually kind of cool to like see him like just do whatever he wants to fucking do. I mean, at the end of the day, like Young Bucks won. It's not a big shocker, but hey, whatever. um, Next match that I liked was Yota versus Jack Perry. This one was also another hard hitting match as well. And next, actually, I would say like Jack Perry and Yoda is like it's another one that has some good chemistry. I've actually I liked their I guess like mashup of styles, I guess if you want to call it that. And plus it was for the global title. And plus Yoda was not gonna lose it to Jack Perry of all people. Sorry. It was like it took like I think one gene blast from Yota, and it put Jack Perry away, which was kind of shocking. But I mean, like to each their own. It's not the best match in the world, but speaking about the best match in the world, this semi-main event, which should have main evented the fucking card. It was Kenny Omega, his first match back from diverticulitis and all this stuff, versus War Ready Gabe Kidd. You want to talk about best match of the night? This was best match of the night for me. But the site that I was watching on, it had like lots of buffering issues, man. It was like so many buffering issues. Um, there was a lot of storytelling in this because Gabe has a lot to prove when Kenny Omega's like, okay, like, well, let's just see if you're ready or not. And he kind of made Gabe looked like kind of a world beater at the end. And you can see in the broadcast too, like Tanahashi like is looking at Gabe Kidd and Gabe's looking at Tanahashi, and Tanahashi has like this tearful like face, and also it's like, and he's seen this kid like become from like a young lion in the dojo to like this like this hardened like son of a bitch that will do anything and willing to do anything. And he's the New Japan Strong World Champion right now, which is cool because they put a lot of stock in Gabe Kidd as well. I would love to see them run this match back at some point. Um, but it was like kind of cool. Like I saw a tweet about it, about Gabe looking at Tanahashi, and it was like saying like in 2020 during the pandemic, like Gabe was talking about like committing, suicide, and like he didn't want to, like he wanted to give up on himself, but he pushed through it, and look where he's at now. Like he was like semi-main eventing the biggest like 2-day show in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. And to be to be in the semi-main event with Kenny Omega of all people, the best bout machine of all time, like that's a huge honor in itself. And Gabe has nothing to be ashamed about either. Because Gabe like literally put his heart and soul and shed blood, sweat, and tears in that match, and like he was busted open hard way from like a table bump. And then like I can't remember like how Kenny got bloodied because the buffering issues, but it was so bloody. And then I completely like after that semi main event, I literally like went to fucking bed because I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna stay up for the main event, which was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ricochet. I think it would be a good match, but I did not watch it. I'm so sorry. Um, but then I was like, man, like, I'm gonna hate myself the next day, like that morning, and I was like, nope, no, all right, cool. Um, but yeah, that was like I guess my my few days and all that stuff within the month so far. Um, Marissa's just doing all right. She's kind of like trying to focus on herself, trying to focus on her mental health, which she always is. Her father's got like a not good, clean bill of health yet. He's still not out of the woods yet with the cancer stuff. But please keep him in your prayers, as always. Um, we're still trying to do stuff for the podcast channel, which we're doing more random rankings. We're doing more shoot the shits, and all that stuff. And I would not, wish for the best like podcast partner or producer in the world, Marissa. I also gotta give some shouts out here, to Marissa, my Pookie, love you. To Rebecca, to Joelle, to Andy, Connor, and his fiance Emmy. Love you guys so much. And also shouts out to Unhinged Gaming, because they're on the YouTube grind right now. They have, I think, 32, 35 subscribers. I think at this point. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. Um, but go subscribe to them. They're trying to get their stuff out there. They're trying to kind of get their foot in the door. They're doing some funny moments. My Andy, my boss in real life, he's gaming with his brother-in-law, and his sister, and they're a group cool group of people. Go subscribe to them. Tell Dystrom sent you in the comments below. So with that out of the way, tonight's song of the night, I should say, before I wrap this up, tonight's song of the night is going to be from Simple Plan. And Simple Plan has not done us wrong on this channel, because I think every album up to that point, up to the point when we did the pilgrimage, it's not bad. I'm gonna go with Crazy by Simple Plan, and that is tonight's Song of the Night. But before I finish this episode, I want to thank you guys so much for getting me to 1,500 subscribers. I know I did a whole spiel at the beginning of the episode. If you had not listened to it, go listen to that and then come back here. I would not be where I am today without you guys, so I really, 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 really appreciate it. So, that being said, thank you very, very much for listening and or watching. If you made to the end of this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what was your favorite Shoot the Shit episode. Maybe what was your favorite moment of 2024 at that point. And I guess if you're listening to this episode, please make sure to follow us on all social medias in the link in the description below, which will take you to our link tree in the description below. Which will take you to our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit page. My gaming YouTube channel is on there. And if you do not know who or what Unhinged Gaming is, I will try to put their link in the description below. Go subscribe to them. They're trying to get to 50 subscribers. I don't know if they have a set goal or anything. But just tell them Dystro sent you. And that's it. I will see you guys next Thursday for another episode. Peace.